This is it, guys. I'm going to show you exactly how you can elevate your consistency to levels you've never experienced before. Now, before we get into it, if you haven't listened to episode 2 and 3, go ahead and listen to those 2 episodes first so that this will make a lot more sense to you. As of this recording, the clients who are going through my FitMind program are experiencing some life-changing results. I'm talking about people who have struggled to lose weight for their entire lives, who are now dropping weight naturally without obsessing about macros and counting calories. I'm talking about people who couldn't stick with an exercise routine or any physical activity for more than a few weeks, who are now 5-6 months into daily activity. Listen, I am not one for overselling things, but trust me when I say this is the hack for consistency. Let's get into it. So in episode 3, we took a deep dive into what exactly inconsistency is, why we're inconsistent. And we figured out that we're inconsistent because we lack focus, because our minds are mentally overloaded. And because we're so mentally overloaded, it's hard for us to remain focused because we're constantly getting distracted. As the Gen Zs are saying right now, we lose the plot halfway through the week. On Sunday night, we're super motivated. We plan to get to the gym. We plan to eat better. And then by midweek, we've forgotten everything that we committed to do, and we're back to square one. That is the result of an unfocused, distracted mind. So how do we hold on to that focus? Well, if you remember in episode 2, we spent a long time talking about those moments of clarity, that wake-up call, where we understand exactly what it is we want, we know what we need to do, and we're often pretty good at getting started. And we usually enjoy some initial success. So when I was trying to break down this whole consistency, inconsistency thing, I started thinking about how do we get to those moments of clarity? Like on January 1st. What is it about January 1st that allows us all to collectively have a reset and refocus our minds? What if we can recreate that January 1st feeling? Is there a way that we can train our minds to get into that state whenever we wanted to? Yeah, you can. When we understand what is it about these specific moments in time that allow us to refocus, and we combine that with what we know about attention, like we discussed in episode 2. So let's break it down. Now, you obviously can't plan a wake-up call. Nobody wants to have to experience a serious health scare to have that wake-up call. But it's something about that period of time. And it's that we are removed from our daily lives. We are removed from our typical daily schedule. We are removed from the routine. That's exactly like the holidays. During the Christmas holidays, when we get up to 2 weeks off, we are removed from our routine. We get to take a step back. We're not as mentally overloaded. We get a chance to unwind, relax, connect with loved ones, eat, be merry, share laughs, have a good time, completely disconnect. And then, after the celebrations, we all have some quiet time. We get to just sit back and relax. Or rather, we get to sit back and process. And in those quiet moments, when we reflect, all of the important things come back to the front of your mind. That is one of the most beautiful things about our minds. We don't have to do anything. We just have to give ourselves the space and create the environment to make way for what's truly important to us in our minds. In other words, what's important to us are our core values that are often buried at the bottom of all the superficial noise. In our quiet moments when we get to break away from the schedule, who we really are and what we truly want can come to the forefront of our minds. And that is where we reconnect with what's important to us. And like we talked about in episode 3, our attention gets an opportunity to be retuned with what we want. That's the big secret, guys. When we are given enough time and space to break away from the routine, to be quiet, to have some time to ourselves, to just sit and process, to relax, to decompress, our deepest desires returns to our conscious minds, and we get to refocus our attention. We are connected to what we want. We are consciously connected to it. So short formula, given enough time and space to decompress, you are allowed to refocus your attention on the things you want. So with that formula, can we create the feeling? Can we create that January 1st feeling on a regular basis so our attention can always be connected to what we want? In other words, can we keep our attention focused on the things we want on a regular basis? Absolutely. All you need to do is allocate a little bit of time every day to reconnect with your goals, to refocus your attention on the things that you want. And this is why a morning and evening mindfulness practice is so powerful. This is why mindfulness is the missing link to everything you've ever wanted. Meditation, contemplation, self-reflection, solitude, silence. These are all opportunities for you to stay connected with what you want. And we're not talking about a lot of time. We're talking about a few minutes every day, 20 minutes max. But even as little as 5 minutes is enough to get your mind right and focus on what you want to focus on. Your attention is a radio, and in the morning, you're tuning your attention to the right channel. And another benefit of this is that when you're tuning your attention to what you want, you are also going to be able to identify what you don't want. Meaning, when distractions show up, if you've given yourself the time in the morning to focus on the main 3 things that you want to do, and a distraction shows up, you're going to be much sharper, much quicker in identifying, whoa, this is a distraction. This is not what we planned for. It's like the red carpet. Your goals for the day are on the red carpet and they can get past the velvet rope. The distractions, you recognize it as a distraction right away and you say, sorry, you can't enter. You do the things that you want to do and you sidestep the things that you don't want to engage in. So a morning practice that I have my clients do is to, first thing, when you wake up, just check in with yourself. If you're religious, you say your prayers, you connect to God. If you're spiritually open and you don't have a faith, you can do some deep breathing and meditation and check in with yourself. And then, before you get on your phone, before you start the day, with your eyes closed, you visualize and think about the important tasks for the day. So if you're talking about health and fitness, you know the important things for you today are to get to the gym or go for a walk, do your workout. You know it's about eating mindfully. You know it's about being organized with your schedule. You know it's about getting to bed on time, winding down at the right time. And then you also visualize yourself getting these things done. So you're really priming your mind, you're priming your brain. And honestly, from there, you're good. It's so simple. It's deceptively simple. That's the joke. But of course, it's difficult because there's so many distractions that will run at you once your day starts. So here are the 4 strategies I suggest that are very powerful and they work well together. First is meditation. Meditation is simply the practice of checking in with yourself and grounding yourself in the present moment. There is no wrong way to meditate. There are different styles of meditation and you want to find which works for you. I find that the most effective one is what you would call present moment meditation. So with your eyes closed, you simply observe, you simply notice the sounds and the sensations that are happening around you. You might hear the hum of the fridge. You might hear a car drive by outside. You might hear the breeze. You might feel the breeze. Simply noticing and not identifying and labeling those things is a very simple way to stay in the present moment, to bring yourself to the present moment. And this does not mean that you're not thinking. The idea that meditation means no thought is false. Thoughts will occur, but you simply observe the thought. If there's a thought that's heavier, an emotional thought, an issue that you're going through, yes, your mind will get sucked into it and you will follow the thought. But you can always bring yourself back. You can always reconnect with the humming of the fridge or the sound outside and then bring yourself back to the present moment. And this is actually a powerful way to avoid distractions during the day. If you can train your mind to catch yourself when you're going down a thought vortex, for example, a stream of thought, you can catch yourself and bring yourself back to the present moment. After the meditation, you want to visualize your day. So we talked about visualizing yourself doing all the things that you want to do today. And the cool thing about visualization is that your brain literally does not know the difference between an imagined reality and actual reality. When you imagine something in your mind, your brain treats it as if it's actually happening. And this is also a powerful way to prime yourself for what's to come. And then thirdly, if you struggle with your dialogue, if you have a tendency for negative thinking and putting yourself down and not really believing in yourself, then positive affirmations are very powerful. You want to say to yourself out loud, it's better if you're facing yourself in the mirror and say, I am competent. I am able. I am going to do this. I am going to follow through. I am a person of my word. I am worthy. I am capable. I am worthy. I am capable. And then with those 3 practices, you go forth and face your day. At the end of the day, do the same thing, but then add one more thing, which is self-reflection. I like to call this an audit of your day. Just think about the day that just passed. Were you happy with the interactions that you had? Did you follow through on what you said you would do? If yes, then great. If not, why? Was it a reason that it was outside of your control? Was it something that you could have controlled and you just didn't follow through? This reflection is really important because you're holding yourself accountable. You're troubleshooting what happened, then you make whatever adjustments are required, and you try again the next day. You're not beating yourself up and saying I'm a loser and I failed and I flopped again. There will be many missteps, but the act of self-reflection allows you to hold yourself accountable, to logically go through what went wrong and figure out ways to adjust. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. But you know what the hard thing is? Pulling yourself away from the stream of thought to actually do the work. And it's not hard work. It's just difficult when you're so used to just doing without thinking, when you're just going with it, rolling from one day into the next. Your biggest obstacle? Your conditioned behavior, your subconscious triggers. It's true what they say. Old habits die hard. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but thankfully, you're not a dog. Every day, create an environment that gives you the space and time to reflect, to wind down, to be quiet, so that you can reconnect with what you really want. You can reconnect with your goals, your desires. Don't wait for a wake-up call. Don't wait for a moment of clarity. You can create your moments of clarity every day. And what do you think happens when your attention is consistently tuned to your goals? You execute them. Day after day, you execute them. And you'll find with this practice, you begin to slow down time. Days don't just feel like they're blending from one to the next. A really important factor here is your bedtime, is your wind down routine. You can't be watching TV or working on your laptop and just shut down and roll over and sleep. You've got to give yourself some time to wind down. You have to give your mind time to disconnect from the daily activities and then reconnect to the deeper issues, to the deeper wants and desires. Same thing with the morning. You can't roll out to bed with barely enough time to do anything. You've got to give yourself enough time to wake up and let the day come to you instead of feeling like you're always chasing the day. When you let the day come to you and you have time to just get up and breathe and reflect and think and practice some gratitude. Look at your children, kiss them on their head, kiss your wife, kiss your partner. Look around your home, look at everything you've accomplished. Connect to everything that's around you. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. And the more you do this, the easier it gets. Moments of clarity daily. Wake-up calls daily. Gratitude daily. Consistency daily. And the reward, the results, man, they're so seamless. I've got clients that don't count calories and don't want to weigh food. They just want to have a balanced diet. They're losing weight like nothing, naturally, without obsessing about it. I've got clients who've never been able to stick with any sort of physical routine are now 5-6 months in, going to the gym, going for the walks, eating mindfully, getting to bed on time. I get voice messages and texts almost daily with people saying, man, I can't believe it feels like I flipped a switch. It doesn't feel hard. It feels natural. It feels free-flowing. And I don't feel deprived of anything. I don't miss anything. I don't feel overwhelmed. I trust myself. This is the secret, friends. Simple, deceptively simple, but so profound, deeply profound. Give yourself time every day to be alone, to reflect, to reconnect with your goals. In the morning, wake up with enough time to do the same thing. Set your mind, tune your attention to the things that you want, and you're going to achieve everything you've ever wanted. It's not too late. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. I love you. Get to work. You got this.